Reset. Reset. Okay. Oh. Tom. Tom.
There's a little light that goes on down the bottom.
Yeah. I should call your names so going really fast. Let's start. Welcome to School Reach. I'm Tom Hart, your quizmaster for this game between Mel and Ridgemont. Mel players can introduce themselves. In this match we have Ben.
Michelle.
Matt.
Colin. Hey, great. We'll play 3 rounds of questions with a minute break between each round. Now, if the scorekeepers are ready, let's begin round 1 of School Reach. 40-point snap start for round 1. What species of tree was used by Canadian Native peoples for canoes? Michelle.
Silverbridge.
Yeah.
That'll do. What was the real name of the Roman Emperor Caligula? Matt.
Claudius.
No.
Say something.
Was I don't know. It was Caesar. What is the second largest city in Australia? Matt.
Sydney.
It's Melbourne. Where is Canada's Royal Military College? Michelle. That's correct. There's a 30-point open question on Lise Meitner. With whom did Lise Meitner study at the University of Vienna before she received her PhD? Matt.
Freud.
No. Michelle.
Oh, yeah?
It was Boltzmann. What element did
The first thing again.
What are the questions about?
Lise Meitner. What element did Meitner discover with Otto Hahn?
Zeno?
No.
Krypton.
Proactinium. In 1938, Meitner fled Germany and went to what country? Michelle.
United States.
No. Colin, Switzerland. Went to Sweden. It's a 30-point open question on Imelda Marcos. Who was Imelda Marcos' co-defendant in her Matt?
Ferdinand Mark.
In her recent fraud and racketeering trial in the United States? Michelle. It is Adnan Khashoggi. What is Adnan Khashoggi's profession? Michelle.
Oil man.
Nope. Matt.
Arms broker.
That's correct. What other country wishes to try Imelda Marcos for embezzlement? Matt.
Philippines.
That's correct. It's a 40-point team question. This 2-part team question. Whichever team is first to answer the 10-point scramble. Scramble for 10 points. What province has a common border with British Columbia? Matt.
Alberta.
That's correct. And the remaining questions about Alberta are for Ridgemont. According to the 1986 census, what is Alberta's largest metropolitan area?
Edmonton.
That's correct. What is the name of the warm, dry, westerly wind which periodically warms southern Alberta in the winter months? That's correct. Which Albertan politician founded the Alberta Social Credit League, sweeping the United Farmers from power in 1935 to become premier?
Davis.
It was William Eberhart. The 40-point open question on New France. Who was the first European explorer to visit the Indian communities at Matt?
Cartier.
That's correct. Which native confederacy waged almost incessant Matt?
Iroquois.
That's correct. What was the name of the fortress built by the French? Colin.
Louisburg.
That's correct. Who was the first intendant of just Michelle? That's correct. 20-point special open question on Orson Welles. In 1941, at the age of 26, Welles achieved what was to be his greatest success ever. Matt.
Citizen Kane.
That's correct. Citizen Kane was a thinly disguised fictionalization of the Matt.
Hearst.
That's
Yeah.
correct. So 80-point assigned question on modern rock music. Just remember, each team assigned a 10-point question. If you missed your question, your counterpart on the opposing team said it equivalent points. Name a singer or band responsible for the following album, starting with Daryl. The Ghost in the Machine. Daryl. It's the Police, and I remind both teams that there is no consultation whatsoever during these questions. For Ted, Nebraska.
Roosters.
That's correct. Michelle, Express. Matt. Love and Rockets. For Mark, YouTube. For Ben, Chronicles. Ben,
Rush.
that's correct. Matt, Snow in June.
Williams.
Moving Vice.
That's correct. For Colin, One-Sided Story.
The two.
Mark, it was The Pursuit of Happiness. It's a 30-point open question on mathematics. Find all the values of x that satisfy the following equation. 1/2 of x equals the square root of x. Mark,
0, 1, and 4.
no. Matt,
0 and 4.
that's correct. A circular disc has an area of 10 square centimeters and a thickness of 1 millimeter. How many discs are required to build a cylinder by stacking the discs of volume 1 cubic meter? Carol,
100.
no. Mark,
105.
no. 1 million. The eccentricity of this comet is between 0 and 1. Name the comet. Mark, that's correct. The 40-point snap break in
Red team.
What body of water bisects metropolitan Istanbul map?
D. Bosphorus.
That's correct. In what year did World War I break out? Matt,
1914.
that's correct. A type of painting done on the surface of still fresh. Michelle,
Fresco.
that's correct. What is the chemical name for marble? Michelle,
I don't know.
which one?
Silicate.
It's calcium carbonate. Now we have a 1-minute break until round 2.
The score?
The score is Bell 70, Ridgemont 130. Monuments to this heroine stand in Niagara Falls. Michelle,
Four Secrets.
that's correct. Which U.S. city experienced a devastating fire in 18th? Matt,
Chicago.
that's correct. Which French novelist wrote a letter called J'accuse?
Zola.
That's correct. Catherine Hepburn, Jane Fonda, and Henry Fonda all starred in this event. Michelle,
Moving on.
that's correct. There's a who am I question worth 40 points if you get the answer on the first clue, and 10 points left for each succeeding clue until either team answers the question correctly. I am perhaps the greatest Dutch navigator explorer that ever, Michelle,
Mercator.
lived. I was born in 1603, and at the age of 30, I entered the service of the Dutch East India Company.
Marco Polo.
Incorrect. Second clue. I made many trading voyages to Japan, Formosa, and Cambodia. Matt.
Kierkegaard.
John. For the company. The governor of the East Indies then chose me to lead a voyage of discovery in the southern hemisphere. Third clue. In my voyages of exploration, I discovered an island which I named Van Diemen's Land. Had I ventured a bit further north, I would have discovered Australia, but instead I headed east and found New Zealand.
Andy.
As I discovered,
Passing.
that's correct. Yeah, just 10. The 30-point open question on word scrambles. If I scramble the letters in a word meaning demand or ready market, I get a second word meaning to establish or determine irrevocably. Name the 2 words. No?
Demand is mandate.
They are sale and seal. If I scramble the letters in a word meaning low in social status, or in value or amount, I get a second word meaning a word by which an entity is designated. Name these 2 words. Yeah. That's correct. If I scramble the letters in a word meaning to use bitter or abusive language, I get a second word meaning one who tells deliberate falsehoods. Name these 2 words. Then,
Rail and wire.
that's correct. The 30-point open question on building.
Reset.
The formation building technology. The formation of bubbles on painted or varnished surfaces is called. Michelle.
Smackler.
The blistering. The finishing material that dries as its thinner or solvent evaporates is known as Matt.
Triangle.
No.
No. Paint. So it's lacquer. In a dough-like cement mixture, you set glass in frames and fill holes and cracks. Then,
Last year.
nope.
Say it.
Caulk. Putty is the correct answer. There's a 40-point open question on poets and poetry. How many lines are there in a sonnet? Michelle.
14.
That's correct. What is the term for a 5-line humorous and Michelle?
Homer.
Who wrote the Canterbury Tales? Matt.
Johnson.
That's correct. Who wrote the poem Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner? Michelle.
Oh no. Just Swift.
Oh,
Oh.
which one?
Stupid.
Nah.
Byron.
No.
Samuel Taylor Coleridge. There's an 80-point open question on art and architecture. You get it. You guys have some?
It's okay. I got one.
You have some?
They have.
Yeah, okay. Give them to these guys. Okay. Yeah. You got it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they can choose all the time.
You might want to keep one. I don't call it legal. If I need one, I will call it. Okay, study picture 91, 27, 22.
Sorry.
This is a photograph of a large mobile sculpture. Matt?
Eaton Center.
That's correct. The mobile sculpture like stop and it's 1 point of what?
Green.
Responsibility. What artist and sculptor
Paul Peel.
created flight to stop?
I know this. I know it. I don't remember.
It is Michael Snow. A flock of what kind of bird? Michelle?
Canada Geese.
That's correct. Study picture 91. Paul Peel. That's correct. The painting is titled Covent Garden Market in Ontario. Peel left London to study first in what U.S. city? Matt.
New York.
Chicago.
Philadelphia. He later achieved professional prominence in what European capital? Michelle.
Paris.
That's correct. Study picture 91, 27, 24. This is a photograph of a famous cathedral in North America. In what city? Michelle.
San Francisco.
Mexico.
That's correct. The cathedral's ornate embellishments are characteristic of its style of architecture, which is
Spanish colonial.
Nothing.
Baroque. It's a 30-point open question on chemistry. What is the term for substances which are capable of acting as an acid in one situation
Oh no. I don't remember.
and a base in another? Matt.
Biochemical.
They are amphoteric. How many protons does a carbon atom have? Michelle. That's correct. What has to be gained or lost in order for an atom? Matt.
Electron.
That's correct. 40-point snap break to end the round. How many bishops must each player have to begin? Matt.
2.
That's correct. The word plumber is derived from the Latin plumbum. Michelle. That's correct. One of the most famous English cheeses is a semi-hard blue. Matt.
Blue cheese.
Blue vein cheeses often accompanied by port wine. Name this cheese.
Cheddar.
It is Stilton. What term describes the decomposition of a substance by chemical
Dissolving.
chemical reaction with water? Michelle.
Hydrolysis.
That's correct. 1 minute break until round 3. The score is Bell 190, Ridgemont 210. Yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
We're happy? So 40-point snap start to round 3. Of which party was Maurice Duplessis the leader? Michelle. No. Matt.
Union Nationale.
That's correct. To whom do letters I-N-R-I refer? Ted?
Christ.
That's correct. What is the third largest province in Canada? Michelle?
British Columbia.
That's correct. In what country is Karl Marx buried? Matt?
Germany.
Michelle?
England.
That's correct. The 40-point team question. In this two-part team question, whichever team is first to answer the 10-point scramble question in part 1 is then eligible for the remaining 10-point questions in part 2. Scramble for 10 points. The U.S. Supreme Court's decision in the 1954 Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka case is considered to be one of the catalysts for what movement? Mark?
Segregation.
Yes. The remaining questions are for Bell and deal with the U.S. Civil Rights Movement. NAACP was heavily involved in the Brown case. What do the letters NAACP stand for?
National Association for the Advancement of Poetry.
That's correct. Who emerged as a leader of the Black Civil Rights Movement and received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964? That's correct. King delivered his memorable I Have a Dream speech at a huge August 1963 rally in which city?
Washington, D.C.
That's correct. The 40-point open question on Canadian historic sites. Which restored historic site in Nova Scotia was once the largest fortress and... Michelle? Yes. Los Omedo in Newfoundland is known as... Yes,
First Viking site.
that'll do. Bellevue House in Kingston, Ontario was once the resident... Michelle? Which Ontario waterway connected Kingston to Ottawa?
The Rideau Canal.
That's correct. 30-point open question on canals. In what countries are the following canals found? The Manchester Ship. Yes. Yes. The Kiel Canal.
Germany.
That's correct. The Suez Canal. Ted.
Egypt.
That's correct. It's a 40-point open question on sports nicknames. Identify the following players of the past and present. The Louisville Lip. Matt.
Wallace Wagner.
In boxing. Mark.
Leo Durosha.
Muhammad Ali.
In boxing.
The Golden Jet. Michelle.
Bobby Paul.
Broadway Joe. Michelle.
Johnny
The Golden Bear. Mark.
Jackman.
That's correct. So
Yeah,
120.
red.
What?
Yeah, another red.
Hey, he's been on that team for the whole game.
He's thinking teams on week three.
There's a 120-point snap out to end the game. What is the name of the homeland many Sikhs wish to... Yes, Matt. Wish to establish an Indian Punjab.
No clue.
It's Khalistan. Who composed St. Matthew's Passion? Michelle. Spell Colonel. Mark.
C-O-L... O-N-E-L.
That's correct. The original name of which 20th century pope was Giovanni... Matt?
John Paul I.
Giovanni Battista Montini.
Why is it 10?
Paul VI. Which 17th century French dramatist wrote Misanthrope? Matt.
Oh yeah.
That's correct. Which Manitoba MLA blocked the attempts to pass? Mark.
What's his name?
Ridgemont. Pass the meteoric court. Hartford. Yeah. In what Canadian city does the Alaska Highway begin? Matt.
Dawson.
Dawson what?
Dawson State.
Dawson
Creek. Dawson.
Dawson Creek.
That's correct. Where's the biggest city in the New England states? Matt.
Boston.
Correct. The alder tree is part of what family? Matt.
Deciduous.
No.
The U family.
They're birch trees. Name the last Prime Minister of Newfoundland. Matt.
Joe.
Before Canadian Confederation. It was Frederick Charles Alderdice. What was the northern section of Canada's Arctic Islands? Matt.
Kiwaki.
Named in 1953. John.
Queen Mary Land.
It was Queen Elizabeth Island. Who began his brief tenure as Prime Minister on June... Michelle.
John Turner.
That's correct. And that's the end of the game. Bell, 300 170 Ridgemont, 200